40 long years have we waited for the time of your next appearance.
Released in 2003 in Japan and 2004 in the US, D.N.Angel was an anime series that lodged itself right into my middle school brain. The series followed 14-year-old Daisuke Niwa and his adventures with his alter ego, the legendary Phantom Thief, Dark Mousy. Let's take a look back, together, at D.N.Angel. For the past 300 years, every male born to the Niwa family, upon turning 14, awakens the being known as Dark. Whenever the boy experiences romantic feelings for someone, Dark takes over. Daisuke lives with his mother and grandfather and has been trained his whole childhood as a thief, only discovering the truth about his lineage on his 14th birthday when, after giving up on his confession to his crush, he transforms into Dark, much to his confusion. Under the direction of his family, Daisuke begins to pilfer magical works of art that disturb the town he lives in, sealing away their powers with Dark's own magical abilities. As the series goes on, Daisuke's relationships are expounded on and develop, such as those with his crush Risa Harada, her twin sister Riku, and his classmate Satoshi Hiwatari. The history of the Niwa family and the magical artworks he is sent after are explored, and rivals appear such as the police commissioner, Kai Hiwatari, and the mysterious being known as Crad. The story of D.N.Angel can best be described by dividing it into 4 arcs, each arc being half as long as the previous one. Without agreed upon names to go off of, I'll just call these the Phantom Thief arc, the Miyohio arc, the Second Hand of Time arc, and the Black Wings arc. The first half of D.N.Angel falls into a Monster of the Week format, with occasional episodes interspersed that introduce new characters and elements to the overarching story. After Dark is awakened, Daisuke begins his life as the Phantom Thief. In these episodes, Daisuke's thieving was at its most prevalent than in any other part of the series. More so than in the second half, which focused on multi-episode mini-arcs, this format allowed the anime to show the Phantom Thief in action. Daisuke's mother, Imiko Niwa, and his grandfather, Daiki Niwa, send letters to the authorities to announce Dark's intention to steal specific artifacts, and Daisuke is sent after them. It's this aspect of the show that had my interest piqued when I initially saw it. The cat burglar sending warning letters and pulling off heists under increased security thing is a niche plot element that I always enjoyed when it popped up. Other episodes in this arc include plots in which cursed artifacts cause problems across the town, such as kidnappings and the like, and Dark puts stops to these problems by sealing the works away. Early on, Satoshi Hiwatari, a classmate of Daisuke, as well as an ally of the police, is revealed to be the person in which Crad, the angel referred to as Dark's other half, resides. Embarrassingly for me, it's only on this rewatch that I realized that Crad is actually Dark spelled backwards. Throughout this arc, Daisuke begins to slowly move on from his romantic feelings for Risa, instead allowing their friendship to grow platonically. This is due, in part, to Risa falling for Dark and developing an obsessive crush on him. At one point, Risa actually begins a relationship with Dark, though he quickly calls it off when he becomes honest with himself and reveals that he had previously loved her grandmother, Rika Harada, and that it's this nostalgia that was the reason behind him humoring the relationship. Riku Harada, on the other hand, early on starts questioning her feelings for Daisuke, and by the end of the first arc, Daisuke is beginning to develop feelings for her as well. At the end of this arc, Satoshi returns from a multi-episode break with the determination to stop Dark with his own abilities, and is revealed to be the adoptive son of the police commissioner Kai Hiwatari. The show's cast is also given a bump in the end of the first half of the show, with Daisuke's father, Kosuke, returning from what is implied to have been a journey to learn about artworks and artifacts. The Niwa family also gains a friend in the magical being known as Toa, who becomes their maid and a recurring supporting character for the rest of the show. The second arc of the show kicks off by introducing the new character, Mio Hio. Said to be an American transfer student, it is later revealed that Mio is actually a voodoo doll brought to life by Kai Hiwatari as part of his plans to capture Dark. In Kai's plan, she places herself in Daisuke's life as a strange girl who becomes infatuated with him, with the end goal of gifting Daisuke a charm that would steal his soul. During this time, Daisuke hasn't heard from Dark, likely due to the fallout from Dark's relationship with Risa and his emotional reflection. During this summer, Risa begins to move on from her crush on Dark as well. Daisuke and Riku begin to grow more and more romantically interested in each other, culminating in each of them realizing their feelings for each other during a meteor shower. This arc of the show blends into the next one at the tail end, though this arc's main storyline comes to a climax when Mio Hio gives Riku the pendant to have her use it on Daisuke, as Mio has started to develop actual feelings for him. Riku does give Daisuke the pendant and, through what is a very suggestive ritual, activates the magic. Mio has a final change of heart and sacrifices herself to save Daisuke, with no one knowing of her fate except for Kai Hiwatari. In the second Hand of Time arc, Daisuke's class begins putting on a play based on the story called Ice and Snow, with Satoshi and Daisuke cast as the hero and heroine of the story, respectively. At the same time, Daisuke begins his painting for the cultural festival, a snowy landscape that somehow seems familiar to him. Kai Hiwatari sets another plan in motion to capture Dark, by activating an artwork called the Second Hand of Time. It's also revealed that the cursed artworks are works of the Hikari family, Satoshi's ancestors and the bearers of the being known as Crad. Daisuke begins falling ill and is led to the world of his painting by the Second Hand of Time. Dark enters the painted world with Riku and Risa in an attempt to save Daisuke, only for Daisuke to choose to remain for the sake of a girl named Friedert, the heroine of the Ice and Snow play who is also trapped in this painted world as well. Dark, with the help of Daisuke's family, discovers the original story of the play and the true tragedy of Friedert and Elliot. With this knowledge, Dark sets off to find the artifact called the Wedge of Time to save Daisuke. After a battle between Dark and Crad, Satoshi repaints Daisuke's landscape and Daisuke escapes the world of the Second Hand of Time, and Friedert and Elliot are reunited and laid to rest. This arc of the show feels to me like it would work much better as a standalone movie, as it has very little bearing on the overall plot of the show, and the characters all end the arc in the same places that they started it at. Yet this arc spans 4 episodes as the show nears its finale, halting the good pacing the show had been flowing with up to this point. The finale of the show is a 2-parter concerning the Black Wings. Kai Hiwatari is revealed to have been under the control of this strange artwork called the Black Wings. The histories of the Niwa and Hikari families are revealed. The Hikari family had had the ability to create art with magical power, and the Niwa family was burdened with the duty to seal those works away for the safety of the world. The Hikari family was nearly destroyed when they created a living artwork called the Black Wings, and when the Niwa family tried to seal it, it was split into the 2 beings, Dark and Crad, who became linked into each family's bloodline. As a disaster repeats its devastation on the town after 40 years, the town is evacuated, and Daisuke sets off to stop the cause, with Riku discovering Daisuke's secret identity. As Kai Hiwatari attempts to awaken the Black Wings, Dark and Crad have a final battle. Daisuke and Satoshi share a mind space, and Satoshi attempts to end his own life to destroy Crad. The spirit of Mio Hio appears to Riku, and with the help of Riku and Risa, she manages to protect Daisuke and stop Kai from awakening the Black Wings. Daisuke convinces Satoshi to stop his sacrifice, and Dark and Crad are both sealed into the Black Wings. The series ends on a very sweet kiss between Riku and Daisuke, the last feather of Dark fading out as the credits fade in.
This is it! Today I go from being quiet, harmless little Daisuke Niwa to, he's pretty cool, Daisuke Niwa.
You are my best friend in the world.
A friend?
Poor little thing. He has no idea what's in store for him.
Huh? I feel all funny. Can't breathe.
For 300 years, Dark's power has been passed through the Niwa family. Since that time, each generation of Niwa males goes through a major transformation on their 14th birthday. Now it is your turn to inherit Dark's name, Daisuke. No, I mean Dark.
It's really you.
Hey, how would you like to go out on a date with Phantom Dark?
One thing that I have to mention about D.N.Angel is that the characters are a lot more than they seem at first. At the beginning of the series, Daisuke seems to be a pretty generic anime protagonist. He's clumsy, but sweet and shy. He has feelings for a classmate that he's unable to express and becomes dejected upon finding out that she sees him as a friend. But as the show continues, Daisuke comes into his own, displaying unique prowess with lockpicking and physical agility when he needs it, and becoming the Niwa family's first artist. He even moves on from his initial crush on Risa and begins falling for Riku, allowing his friendship with Risa to grow. Sure, there are some troubling aspects to the fact that he moves on to Riku, Risa's twin sister, but I don't think there's much there that detracts from the good that is showing a healthy friendship growing from this initial crush. Selfless to a fault, Daisuke frequently will help others, even to his own detriment, such as shown with his desire to remain in the painted world to help Frieder. Daisuke is voiced in the dub by Kevin Korn, and his performance really captures the gentleness and kindness of Daisuke. I'd say that Daisuke was a good protagonist for the show, but what really helps is that he had a decent supporting cast, as well as his other half. The legendary Phantom Thief, Dark Mousy, is a confident and cocky person. An exceptional flirt and playboy, he is gawked upon by many girls throughout the town, as well as the remaining fanbase of the show. This mass infatuation with Dark is shown in full effect in episode 6, when a warning letter is penned by Daisuke saying that Dark will steal the heart of the world's #1 lady as a part of his gift to his mother, and the town goes into complete chaos with people everywhere thinking that the note is directed at them. Despite his teasing of Daisuke, he can be deathly serious when it's called for. He consistently makes sure to look out for the well-being of his host, Daisuke, which couldn't be said of the other angel, Crad. Dark has, since the release of the show, remained as a standout design and the most remembered aspect of the show, due in part to his voice in the dub being provided by Vic Mignogna, who delivers Dark's dialogue in such a way that I really couldn't imagine Dark with any other voice. Satoshi is initially introduced as a rival for Dark. He works alongside the authorities in their attempts to apprehend Dark. Over time, we begin to learn that Satoshi is a child prodigy, having already earned a college degree and was adopted by the police commissioner, Iwatari. Satoshi is also the unwilling host to the spirit Crad, who gives little mind to Satoshi's well-being and attempts to emerge whenever Dark is around. Satoshi has to continually suppress Crad and attempts to capture Dark via his own abilities, and later tries to stop Crad for the sake of others. Satoshi also is shown to have a very strong relationship with Daisuke, which the show does not skip an opportunity to portray in a very ship-baiting way.
Whoa. He graduated high school at the age of 8 and briefly studied abroad. At 13, he graduated from Lagoon University and worked at police headquarters before becoming chief commander of Dark Countermeasures.
Are you really that interested in me?
Oh, hello there, Iwatari.
You were so into all of this that you didn't even hear me coming up right behind you, did you, Niwa?
Why, no, I didn't. I was sure I locked the door behind me.
I do know a few tricks, but not as many as you do.
There you are! What are you two up to? I've been looking all over for you.
In the dub, he is voiced by Greg Ayres, who in my mind is a perfect voice for this kind of intellectual yet cold character. During the start of the show, Risa Hirata is portrayed as the show's female lead and the protagonist's love interest character. The interesting thing about her is that as the show continues, her role in the show diminishes, yet her character grows and develops, partly because of the moving of her character out of the love interest role. She falls for Dark almost immediately and pursues him fanatically, placing herself in the middle of his heists on a number of occasions. Dark softens this interference and the two become an item for a short time, though it is quickly broken off. She begins to slowly accept that and move on, coming into her own as an independent and competent person. She begins to see aspects of Dark and Daisuke and wavers on her feelings for him, but in the end she is happy for her sister and continues to be a good friend to Daisuke. In the dub, she is voiced by Lucy Christian, so I might be a bit biased in thinking that she does a fantastic job with the sweet and naive Risa, seeing as she also did the voice for Duck in Princess Tutu, one of my all-time favorite anime. Riku Hirata is introduced at the start as a stereotypical tomboyish and serious down-to-earth character. With the exact opposite trajectory that I described with Risa, Riku becomes more than the character initially shown when she is slowly brought more into the limelight. More and more of her interests are shown, such as her aptitude for cooking and her love and care for her sister. In the opening episode, Riku has her first kiss stolen by Dark, which is the action that starts her in searching her feelings about Daisuke. Funnily enough, she is a huge detractor of Dark and loathes him from the get-go, not helped by her own sister being helpless in her infatuation with him. Hilary Haig delivers a well-done performance in the dub that really feels like the character becomes more and more complex as the series runs. D.N.Angel features a very good soundtrack. The instrumental and incidental music of the show is used very well without any of the pieces contradicting the tone of the scene in which they are used. Though the real highlight of the music, and arguably the highlight of the show, is the opening theme. The song True Light, performed by Shunichi Miyamoto in the original, remains to be the thing the show is most remembered for. It has a fantastic opening that I never skipped upon rewatching the show, and to add icing to this cake is the fact that the opening is performed by Vic Mignogna in the dub.
Brought into the light at last by the cold exposing sun. I was granted freedom tame to become the chosen one.
Personally, I love when anime themes are done or even covered by actors in the show. It is truly one of the best anime opening themes that I've heard. Overall, the show looks very much like a mid-aughts anime, so your mileage may vary. When it comes to the character designs, many of them are very standard and interchangeable, though with a couple of the characters the designs are memorable, at least to me. Some of the shots do look like one of those how to draw manga books.
Kids draw a big buck of everything manga. Let's have a look-see.
Drawing the nose.
Okay, this is all okay. There we go. We're getting there. We're getting there now, ladies and gentlemen.
This is a funny runner.
And Krabby Kathy.
Krabby Kathy.
There she is.
Oh, she's so sassy. It's a casual teen. Casual queen.
This is the that's the best one.
He's cool.
The end.
I'd say pick it up.
Okay.
When it comes to the animation of the show, some shots are very dynamic and well composed, particularly in the first and last few episodes. A good chunk of the series, though, does show where the animation is limited. Some things in the show are done with computer graphics, such as dark feathers in some of the artworks. It's used sparingly enough, though, that it isn't distracting, or at least not as distracting as it could have been considering the time period. Looking back, now more than a decade on, D.N.Angel holds up a decent amount for an anime from that time period. The characters develop in good ways that are stronger than many anime coming out even to this day. Even if it will only be remembered as an edgy-styled romance show with a fantastic opening, I'd say that it's still well worth being remembered and even looked back on and preserved by those who have enjoyed the adventures of Dark Mousy and Daisuke Niwa. Hey, thanks for sticking around to the end of this retrospective. If you enjoyed this, why not subscribe to see when I manage to make another video? Also, feel free to leave a comment if you have anything to say about D.N.Angel or this video. Thank you again for watching. I'm GreyTanuki. Have a good one.